You know what?
You missed out.
We are excited to have today with us a very special guest, Harmol. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. I've always kind of wanted to do a podcast. It's an honor to be on one.
I'm here. I'm so happy to be here for this.
Yeah, I know, right? This is awesome.
We've been
I'm
waiting.
here to interview you.
We've been waiting here for so long to have Harmol on the show, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right?
Yeah. I'm so
Thanks for having me, guys.
You know what, Cass? So excited to have you on. We've met over really random circumstances, which actually is kind of crazy. We met online, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
But then when you say it like that, it looks like a dating app again, right?
Every time I've met Rush, we're like, oh, it sounds like we met through a dating app. No, we didn't meet through. I'm gonna clear the air. We did not meet from a dating app. So we were both.
It was Dilmill.
No.
It was Dilmill.
No. But we really did meet because we were both hired to film videos for like content creation related to AI. That's both of our passion project kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I remember we would just throw our videos in a Google Drive. And I like my style of filming, because I'm a TikTok creator, is, talking head. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's like you sit there, you talk to the camera, very unedited, very unfiltered, just straight talk. And Raj had this whole studio set up. Like I would look at the Google Drive, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. Like his videos look so good. And I'm like, wow, what?
He's grinning.
It's not true.
They were so legit though. And I was so that was like my first impression of Raj is like, wow. So not only did he write a script for this video, he also came prepared with lighting and a microphone. So I thought I was going to get fired as soon as I got hired.
And then
I mean, it's true. Like I believe that because before we even filmed our first podcast, you had all this crazy equipment already.
You guys should see this setup.
Yeah,
the sun
dude.
is in here with
Literally,
us.
The sun is in here.
It's
These
so
mics,
freaking bright.
these crazy boom arms, whatever you want to call them. Like I didn't expect that when we first.
Oh, you didn't?
No, obviously when we first expected, I thought when we holding a mic, when we sitting on like a fucking like foldable chair, like
in somebody's basement.
Yeah, someone's basement.
Oh, that's what you thought it was gonna be.
I'm like, it's a podcast, natural,
Shit.
Because
Did you know it was video or even? Or did you think it was gonna be audio?
No, I thought it was just audio.
Oh, you had
Because
no
I thought we were gonna
idea.
build it, and then eventually, like, boom, here we are. We got like everything crazy now.
Oh,
Like grainy, like 240p to like this is like 4K now.
yeah, but we came out with
you
we came out with 1080p. Not bad.
Wow.
Not 4K. We didn't start with 4K. We can't afford 4K. Are you kidding me?
How much are those cameras? Like a lot.
Same price as the toilet.
The fucking toilet.
I want to know. I don't.
Yeah, you know what? It's a secret.
What a random intro to the pod. I didn't know you,
It's
but we
always random.
literally, like he
It's never
talked about the
been not
dating app
random.
last time I was on the pod.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing.
I
every
think
single time.
you're obsessed with these dating apps. Are you gonna make your own one?
You
day?
know what, guys? I want to just announce mine now. I just created my own. Just joking.
You gotta save
I'm
that till
honestly
the
not
end.
even laughing
I'm
because I can see
joking.
this guy making
Well,
one one day.
yeah,
gosh.
same.
Oh, what? Same.
What? Look,
guys
you
can
wouldn't.
see me.
No,
You guys
but
can
the
see
thing
me
is,
making one.
yo, you hate something so much that you'll become it.
Is that like Stockholm syndrome again?
Dude, how many times have I tell you Stockholm syndrome is a kidnapper?
It's
That's
guy
the wrong
uses
use
that
of
term so
You do not
loosely.
we do not promote apps that do
Yeah,
that.
I
Like,
just-
I think
a
I think one
disclaimer.
day you will. But the thing is, you'll fix every single issue in all these apps and create your own. And then you're never gonna talk to anyone ever again. You'll just move to like an island in the middle of nowhere.
I feel like, you know what? If there's a necessity to do it, sure, we would do it. Us three. I feel like if any three people are gonna
Us
do
two,
it,
why you bundle me into this? Why would I want to do
did
this?
I sign up for
Yeah,
something?
did
that
she
I'm
sign
not
up for
aware
this? What is this?
well, I need someone that's gonna do the advertising. You're gonna be doing the street interviews.
Yeah, I'll do the street interviews.
She's gonna be doing her face videos, guys. I'm like, you could find me on the app. We need you on.
You
Like,
can
I can't
find
do it
me
I'm
without
gonna be
you.
like married with kids. You need to use this app. Guys,
Guess who I found this
guess
week?
what I found?
Yeah. Why are your kids just running in the back and your husband's like, hey,
Ignore that.
Yeah.
Ignore that. That's not related.
Like, we met on this app, even though the app just started like a week ago.
So on the note of that, so Cass, you're a content creator, you're very, very viral. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are for
Sure.
those of us that don't know who you are?
Yeah. So I started on TikTok in January of 2023. In 5 days of being on the platform, I hit 50,000 followers,
Holy
which was
shit.
insane. I grew really
In
fast.
how much time, sorry?
5 days. I believe that was
we,
when
we
I hit,
need we need this. We need
We need this.
We
Can
need,
you-
we need
well,
the
it was a
hashtags or
different-
whatever.
It was a
been
different
more than 5
algorithm
days,
back
though,
then.
just so you know.
It's been like what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 months at this point.
Okay,
Oh my
sorry. Go
God.
on. Go on.
No, but if anything, I think I might be misremembering that, but I had 50K within that first month. It was such a blur because I wasn't expecting to blow up. I was actually
When
gonna
did you
do,
start?
January 12th, and
Of
I
last year.
of last year.
Insane.
That's so close to like when we started, but didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, we could have done it in 5 days back then
We could have.
if we did it back
Yeah.
then. What a story, right? Go
I
on.
mean, but even so, but the algorithm's different now. They all change. You know how that
Yeah.
goes. But originally, I was going to be an AI content creator because I was like, that's what I want to do.
Why? Well,
Um,
why AI?
Just because I like it. And also my background, I have a little bit of a techie background. Not many people know that. So I worked in a software company for 6 years until I left that job. But yeah, I have no experience in technical things. I actually learned about software from white papers. For anybody listening, you know.
What's white papers?
You don't know what a white paper
You don't
is.
know?
Okay, man. I've never even heard this phrase before.
Okay, so that also shows
You
my
joking?
age just a little
No, I'm
bit,
serious.
but like, so it's literally a piece of paper
Yeah.
that tells you about a solution, like literally printed piece of paper. And I used to bring them home with me every night and fall asleep reading them so I could keep up with my peers, because I actually have a degree in clinical counseling,
Yeah.
and I got a job at a software company in the marketing department.
After graduation or during school?
Actually, right after graduation, I started working immediately.
Hmm.
So it was kind of weird because I knew nothing.
How did
and-
you end up going into that field?
Yeah,
though? Why didn't
that
you
was an
apply?
answer as well.
Funny. I was actually supposed to be a nurse, and I did an internship rotation, and I actually was scared of blood, so couldn't do that. So then I had no job options. It was 2 weeks before graduation, and I was like, I don't have anything. Like, it was like April 1st, 2nd, or 3rd or something like that. And I remember one of my really good friends was like, hey, you should apply at this company. I think you'd be a good fit. Then she went to China, on business, and she's like, but I'll come back and I'll refer you. I had already applied by that time, so I literally was like, hey, I know this person. I would love to work at this company. They're like, oh, there's a marketing internship open. Why don't you apply? So I applied for this position. I had never been in a marketing class. Never
Crazy.
didn't know what software was. I could not even work my own computer. That was how bad I was with technology when I was 22. And I got the internship. They called me on my birthday. I was in the shower.
When's
and
your birthday? April
April 19th. So by April
For-
19th,
19,
yeah,
not
right.
420.
No, everybody. It's always like the day before.
Missed it by a
420.
day. Missed it by a day.
Every-
That's a
Everybody
missed
says-
opportunity. Was it late at night too?
What?
Was it late at night too?
No, it was the middle of the afternoon. It was like a
Mm.
clear miss.
Yeah, clear miss.
I was in the shower when they called me, and I started crying because I was so happy that I had a job
No way.
after graduation.
And were you living at your parents' house at this time?
Well, I was in college, so I was living on campus.
Were you planning to you're just trying to figure out how to stay there after school then?
I was just trying to figure out if I could get a job.
Were you confused? Like, wait, why did they take me? I have like no experience in this.
Literally, I was in shock.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. And I remember the lady that interviewed me was like, we just really thought you'd be a good fit. And we saw, they must have seen something that I didn't see it myself at the time.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I walked in the door that first day of that job, I was in so over my head. Think about SaaS companies, right? We were doing software for the government. Think about the government terminology and then the software terminology, and you're 22 and you're learning how to live on your own and not getting paid yet. Tough time, tough adjustment. And I cried a lot. But
So
yeah.
is that what kind of got you into this whole field of technology and everything? Kind of the job itself?
Yeah,
The internship?
I owe every bit of professionalism and every bit of my knowledge to that company.
And
because-
since then, I know you said it was
Yeah,
really hard. Is that kind of what made you more interested in it and wanted to learn more?
truthfully, at the end of the day, I can't say that it's a true passion. It's just something that I had to adapt to. So then I could survive essentially, because it was the only job I had. So I'm like, how can I get better at this than anybody else? So that's what put me into sales. I'm like, I want to be competitive. And then that was the best way to learn the solution, was start in marketing. So anybody who doesn't have any job options that wants to get into it, marketing's great because you learn how to market the solution. Then when you transition into sales, you learn how to sell the solution. So of course you're going to learn all about it because I've seen both sides. So that was actually, I learned so much from just the time in marketing and in sales.
And you said counseling, you said you did?
Yeah, I have a degree in
How was
clinical
that?
counseling. Great. I learned a lot about myself during that process, because I think I became really self-aware very early on due to the fact that I was studying to be a counselor. So I couldn't afford grad school, which is why I actually couldn't become a counselor. I was already taking on student loans to be in school, and I just couldn't afford to take on more. So I'm like, I have to get a job. Maybe I'll get a company that could pay for
Mhm.
this. But yeah, I think education is such a privilege. And for me to get a job like that, my parents were so confused because I was supposed to be a nurse, right?
Yeah.
And I get this degree in clinical counseling. They're like, what
And
are
have
gonna
you
do with
ever
that?
thought like even like now like, oh maybe I like you ever have regrets or like I wanted to go more in depth on nursing and all other stuff? You ever think like, oh maybe like I should have gone more hard on that?
Because of the pandemic, I think I've realized it takes a special person to be a
Yeah.
nurse. And I'm really thankful for the people that had that heart that could do that during the pandemic. But I don't know if I would have had been able to stomach how much people lost during that time.
Yeah.
And it takes a special person. Like, and I also can't do blood. Like, even seeing tattoos, nothing. Like, I saw somebody get intubated during my internship when I was thinking about being a nurse, and I passed out. So
You what about needles? Same thing. You kind of like see them.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
just-
bad with needles too.
So lesson learned: no nursing.
Yeah, I'm not. I've never really had to look at myself. Have you ever had to like look at your like? Have you ever had some sort of maybe this is too
Yeah, like blood
sensitive, but,
draw. Like
no? Have you
right?
ever done like have you had like surgery or had like stitches?
Yeah.
Have
Well,
you?
you know me. I've
like
had so
wisdom
many.
teeth, but you don't see that.
So you haven't really had anything like you
I've
have.
had like 4 or 5 surgeries.
So I've
Yeah.
like okay.
Where
I-
I'm
how
like,
many- have you
put
ever-
under.
I passed out one time when I was donating blood, and there was a trainee giving me a shot, and she said the trainer goes, "Hey, are you okay if a trainee gives you a shot today, or gives you?" And
Happened
you
to
know,
me too.
Hard
No,
pass.
no, and I go, and I'm in a good mood. I'm just being Raj. I'm being nice. I'm trying to be supportive. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's true. You
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
be
I'm like,
good.
no worries, whatever. I'm just joking around. I'm just being me. And then they're all serious. I'm not paying attention. And then I'm like, is it normal? Do people normally say no? Right? I said that, right? Because I'm like, I don't mind. I'm not going to change my answer, but I feel like I'm a nice guy, basically, in my head. I'm like, I feel like most people don't say yes, right? I'm like, some people might be scared. Like, would you be scared?
Yes.
So you would have said no.
I'm already scared of the needle. I don't need a rookie.
Yeah,
no offense.
exactly.
I know everybody has to learn, but that's like having a rookie pilot. I just don't want to know.
Yeah,
Just don't tell me.
tell me.
Like if the
Tell me
pilot's
after.
new, don't tell me. If the nurse is new, don't tell me.
Yeah.
But I guess they kind of have to. I think that's a law.
They
but
have
like,
to,
but,
yeah.
but what this
Oh,
this
no.
kind of goes back to like just me, my personality, and getting me in trouble sometimes, right? But I'm just joking around and I'm having a good time. Next thing I know, I'm fucking waking up to 10 people
What?
like around me. Yeah, I just like that's the story.
You're like, what
Were you in the
happened?
hospital?
No. I was at the donor clinic.
Oh, like Life Labs.
No, I was donating blood. So it
Oh, blood
was,
donation.
blood donation,
Blood
Canadian
bank.
Blood Services. And do you guys have a donation blood thing?
Yeah.
And by the way, you didn't mention where you're from. You're not Canadian. That's why we're Canadian swag today.
I
Because
should have worn an American
I
flag.
thought
Yeah,
you
you
were
should've.
going to. I thought you were going to. That's why I made sure
didn't
this
know
was
there
all.
was a
I'm the
uniform?
neutral party here. I'm not wearing any. I'm not
He's
repping
trying
any
to-
colors.
Switzerland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're from the U.S.
Baltimore.
Baltimore. And what was I saying?
You were giving blood.
Oh yeah, giving blood. No. About
The
Is
giving
easy,
this
blood.
my
the easy
podcast?
transition from Baltimore to blood.
No,
work.
no.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
giving blood.
Smooth.
Yeah.
You can donate blood in Baltimore.
Yes, you can.
In Baltimore, the
You
Wait,
guys
hold
think
on,
I'm
hold
being
on.
out
You
of
make it
space?
seem like
Hold on.
Baltimore's like
out
a
of space.
dystopia or
Hold
something.
on, Hold on. Are there rules and regulations around if you're LGBTQ that you cannot donate blood? Because in Canada, you cannot donate blood
What?
if you're LGBTQ.
I'm not
Well,
aware.
again, I guess I'm not.
Is
I
it-
mean, if you've had intercourse that is same sex,
the dead silence between.
I don't want to say anything wrong, right? I don't want to be
No,
wrong.
no. I don't know about these rules because I've also
Never donated blood.
I've never donated blood.
Honestly, it's a good thing to do. Good on you for doing
Yeah,
it.
it is.
I
That's
want to do
cool.
it, but I'm like shit scared because that 10 thing is gonna turn to 20 people around me. I'm gonna wake up in a puddle of sweat, probably.
No. So okay, I love this because it makes me feel less insecure about it because I know people that go consistently.
No.
And
it's-
so
yeah.
since like my best friend goes and he's once invited me a few times along with his cousin.
Nice bonding activity. No, that's really it's so good of you. I
No.
agree. Like,
But here's the thing. So I go the first time, no problem. Second time, I go and it's the trainee. She does it, and all I remember is I get the jab, right? Not the jab, not that jab, not the U.S. jab. I'm just joking.
we also had it here too.
I
What do you
know.
mean the
Everybody
US?
had the jab.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just whatever. I'm just messing around. You can't donate blood here if you're from LGBTQ. I found that interesting, and I don't know the details of it. All I know is that Dababy was canceled.
What are
No,
these transitions?
You know Dababy? You know Dababy, the TikTok guy?
Yes, I
He
know
was
Dababy.
he was
yeah,
canceled.
with all that shit he said on the
Yeah,
stage.
he went on stage out of the blue, had no business saying it.
This was
He's on the
so-
top
have
of the
you seen
world.
this?
No.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? From Dababy?
Yes.
Oh, you know. Can
You should
you
probably explain it though.
no? Can you explain
Okay,
it? Do you know?
we're
I'd
not
rather
gonna
you-
say the words, but
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if you smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air. Fellas,
Lights up.
fellas, if you ain't suck parking lot, put your cell phone lights in
Let's
the
be
air.
real about this shit.
well, I'm
Yo,
not saying those
I'm not
words.
saying that.
I'm not saying none of those lines.
No, but basically he's talking about just STDs or something, right? He's talking about STDs and like get out of here if you're fucking
Yeah, if you're like
If you're
if
gay.
you lean that way, essentially.
if you lean
yeah.
that way, you got STDs, get out of
Yeah.
here. That's what he said. And
No,
by the
STDs,
way,
I think he said
just
AIDS.
for the record,
Why is he doing that?
It was so random.
It was
like
just-
it
it
wasn't
was
even
He
like
just came out on
self-sabotage.
stage.
like,
I didn't know
like
the
he was
context.
performing, and like like sometimes in between a song, like they like take some seconds to talk to the crowd, and that's
Like,
just a
thanks for
couple
being
seconds.
here. And by the way,
Yeah, I honestly, it was
oh,
so
that's
random.
sickening. Oh,
and
that's
and
bad.
for
That's
anybody
bad.
listening, all right, I feel it's important to provide some extra context as to why I brought up Dababy. I had a friend that mentioned to me that they weren't allowed to give blood due to their sexual orientation. I got on a phone call with him today so you could hear directly from him.
Yeah, I mean, things are certainly better. Like, I can donate now, even as a gay man, under certain criteria. As long as I don't have anal sex, I can still donate. And if I did, it would be like a 3-month waiting period. It's certainly better, but it still doesn't follow science. You can still responsibly have sex with another man, and you should be able to still donate, I think. It's frustrating at times because I feel like there's a lot of us that could donate, but we can't just because of rules that are still a little bit outdated. But I have to say, CBS is getting better, but they're still not progressive enough, I don't think. It's good that we talk about this more because we need to put more pressure on them to follow the science, and there is science behind this. I think we'll get there. In those questions, it shouldn't matter your sexual orientation. It should matter how unsafe the sex is that you have. Now they don't ask you directly, like, are you a gay man? They just ask you specific questions about what kind of sex you had, and then is it a level of unsafe sex that they deem would be disqualifying. Some of my friends can't donate ever because even though they have like a monogamous partner, they might be in a relationship with one person and only having sex with that same person, but they're still going to be disqualified even though they're 100% healthy and responsible.
I'm not an expert on this by any means, which is why I'm having this conversation with you. You know this firsthand. I don't. All I know is that I might not be allowed to go donate blood if I pass out one more time. However, if somebody makes just a comment objectively saying, if you are gay, you have a higher chance of having STDs. And if I said that right now on the podcast, I would be slandered. I would be canceled. You have now Canadian Blood Services literally saying the exact same thing, but Dababy showed up on my feed.
Yeah.
You knew about
Sure.
Dababy. You knew about that comment, right?
Yeah.
What does the world come to? We all knew about that comment, but we didn't know about this, right? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly been some people that have been more vocal about it. There's a huge population of people that want to donate and they can't. I think a couple of years ago, it was brought more prominent. I forget when the whole Dababy thing happened. Maybe it was around that same time.
It was July. Okay, well, still, it was July 2021 and then April 28th, 2022. Health Canada approved Canadian Blood Services submission.
I think it did bring up, it might have indirectly because I know around that time, before CBS made those changes, there were more people talking about it.
I actually do still believe that Dababy's viral whole situation actually brought this to light a little bit more.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I know that for years, maybe even decades, we've been asking Canadian Blood Services to change. So maybe it did take something like Dababy to just push it that one step further that caused someone in the organization to say, you know what, yeah, maybe enough is enough and we do need to change. It's certainly possible.
I'm not saying that this was the first time that this would have came up to them, but something changed this time that they allowed it. And it's still not where it needs to be. But without you mentioning it to me, I would never have known. So thanks for sharing all that.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for highlighting it.
The
I want to
rules
hear
have
your
changed.
story. Go back to that.
I end up getting the jab. And next thing I know, a lady looks at me and the trainer, how you feeling? Like, I'm feeling good, but I'm not. I don't want to say anything. And I just feel like like everything's closing in. Like,
No, your vision gets dark.
Vision's going darker.
Yep, I know the feeling.
And it's like on a camera when the brightness is going down, like all the way down to your MacBook screen 0. And it's like, and I'm like, I'm good. And then I'm gone. And that part you don't remember. And then next thing I know, there was a brown lady who was like, I know you from somewhere. Where I know you from? Something from family related. We don't know.
Why is she asking this when you're coming to?
You go back.
Like, are you okay? No. Not even are you okay?
I think I know you.
No. She didn't say it at that point.
You look familiar on the floor.
She said
Like,
no, she said that when I walked in. So I was joking around with her. And now she's like the main head nurse of this whole operation. She's like the manager on duty type thing.
Okay.
So she's there. I wake up, the trainee, the other trainer, the brown lady, 2 other freaking nurses out of nowhere. They're all around me, like in the movies, you know? And I just wake up and I'm like, what? And they're like,
Hello?
oh my God. They're like, are you good?
60 years.
They're like, are you good? I'm like, I'm good. What do you mean? It was my first time in my life ever passing out. And I was like, what do you guys mean? I'm good. What's happening here? Right? They're
Well,
like,
for you don't think anything happened.
they go, did you eat today? I'm like, no, I didn't eat anything yet today. They're like, you didn't eat today? This is why this happened to you, kind of thing, right? And they're like, did you drink lots of water before you came like you're supposed to? I'm like, not really. I drank some water. They're like,
You didn't know about this?
well, I did it before. And it
Did
wasn't a
you
problem.
read up on what you were supposed to do?
Don't they tell
I
you?
did this before.
Wait,
no
they ask
problem.
you this before
But I've done
you...
it before.
Wait,
Doesn't mean that the rules change.
No, hold on a
man.
second. How
Riding
long
a
ago-
bike is riding a bike.
How long ago was this?
2022.
You know they ask you this stuff before you get done.
No,
yeah,
they
like
didn't-
there's
they
a
didn't ask.
checklist. Like,
Yeah.
have you eaten anything? When was the last time you ate something?
Yeah.
Did you drink?
This kid's probably like, yeah.
He's probably like
No.
so
An hour
enamored
ago.
by the trainee.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you like your job? Like, you're probably just making friends that you forgot the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You guys I'll take the blame then. Okay? I'll take the damn blame.
Accountability, man.
You
I'll hold
should.
myself
It's your
accountable.
body.
Yeah.
No. I'll take blame, but this jab that she did
Okay.
was pretty bad. It was an instant pass out on jab. It wasn't I passed out after, like, normally if you don't eat and you're giving blood, you're going to
It's like
start to
during the
feel, you're going to start
process.
to, after you've lost like half your blood, yeah, your body's going to shut, might pass you might pass out. This
Okay,
wasn't
they're not
anything
taking
to do with that.
much. They're taking half your blood. You would actually pass out then no
Okay.
matter
You
what.
would-
No, half the
Doesn't matter
bag.
what you
Half
ate
the
then.
bag. Half the bag. I meant.
Okay.
Okay, half the amount you're supposed to take. Fuck, whatever. So it wasn't that. It was like jab, bam. Like I was out. So it wasn't like I didn't eat. It's like, and they were like trying to pin it on me to the point where I
Oh.
believed it. And they were like,
gaslit you.
they gaslit me hard.
Idiot.
and then I'm like, and they're like, you're like the jokester, like you're just being a dick, basically. You know what I mean? They weren't saying I was a dick, but I just looked like the jokester that came in with no preparation, that didn't eat, and they made me out to be that guy, which again, I'm like, you jabbed me
I
with your
think
trainee.
They're
And like,
trying to make all the other patrons that show up there that
Calm.
see you pass out feel
Yeah.
better. Because I'd freak out and be like, I'm
I'd
not
freak the
giving blood.
fuck out, yeah.
That's why they're like, oh, he didn't eat. Don't worry.
yeah, so I took the blame, but then they're like, we're gonna call you in a couple of days to make sure you're still good. And they called me.
What the hell? Okay, if I heard that, that would be panicking then.
They
I
said
mean,
that if
what
I
did you do to me?
They said if I pass out one more time, though, I'm banned from going there. Because they're just like, you can't be here then. Like, you're not
Banned?
meant- Like you just get cut off. They're like, you
Oh,
can't
I
be
guess
here.
like they don't want to deal
No
with that
more
shit.
blood.
No,
for
they're not.
me.
Yeah, they're just trying to have a
Yeah.
chill fucking. They're just trying to take blood, have a good day. Here's some
Just
Lay's
want your
chips.
blood. We don't need this drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not trying to freaking have like that's no. And you know what? There was a lot of trauma in my body from that. Like my
Yeah.
body that was a real pass out. Like I actually
Yeah,
went from like
that's serious.
100 to 0 like instantly. So like my whole body, like I literally felt
They
like
probably freaked out too. Low key, like the people working.
I don't know how long I was passed out for, right? But
That's another thing.
oh yeah, you know what else is really ironic about it? Before we go, my buddy and him are on the phone. We're on a 3-way call. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll meet up with you after 100% for a beer. Don't worry, blah blah blah. And then one of my buddies goes, yo, this guy's gonna pass out, isn't he? Isn't Raj? Raj is just being all fucking. Raj is being Raj. He's gonna pass out, right? Watch him pass out. Then my buddy that
Oh.
goes with me, he's sitting in a way far corner, so he's giving blood before me. And then someone else came late. They're walking in. They're like, they walked in. I was already passed out.
Did you record you?
Oh no, they
I
didn't
would
record.
have.
Yeah, you would have.
I actually want to make sure you're alive first, then record.
Yeah, no. So I'm like dead. This guy's so.
Yeah, you gave half your blood away, of course. Like,
Your blood just gushing out. They're like catching it in
No,
a fucking bowl.
this guy's trying to go viral on TikTok. That's his strategy, right?
That is.
Next, if that doesn't work out for him, he's gonna do street interviews. Knowing him.
Street interviews
yeah.
are the way to go.
Honestly, I want to do street interviews with this podcast. It would be so fun to
I
ask like
think
fun
it'd be
stuff.
hilarious.
It'd
Yeah.
be so fun.
You know what?
We
If you guys want to
should.
see it,
Yeah.
put it in the comments. If
Yeah,
you guys want to see
honestly.
that, we'll do it right away.
But we don't know
you
what
should
to
ask
ask.
for questions in the comments for you to ask people
Oh,
on the streets.
That's a good
So
one.
that's good. Do you have a question for us to ask random
Yeah,
people in
it
Canada?
would be fun.
Does
questions.
it matter like what or just anything?
That's not a good question.
Certain, no, but is there a
Does it
genre
matter
that I
what
should-
or anything?
That's a great question.
Just
I
go up to
actually don't
people and
mind.
just ask them that.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Huh?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Well, anything that you would want to know. As a
Have you ever
Baltimore-
passed out giving blood?"
I mean, that's a good one to start
And they'll
with.
explain a story every
no, don't
time.
even. No story. No story.
Guys.
Just like, have you passed out? Give me blood.
We'll give them a QR code
No.
and they scan it, takes them right to this part of the video, and you can explain the story. That's perfect.
That's
Talk
amazing.
about that's marketing right there too.
That is marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways,
I think what I'd want to know from like if a random person came up to me on the street, I love the interviews where the guy's like, "What do you do for a living?" That style. So something relatable enough where like anybody like not like what's your favorite place to eat, but I think you should do something along the lines of something so random but like relatable.
sorry, I'm still laughing at Harmol's fucking stupid blood joke.
What?
Asking people on the street. I'm still dying. I'm gonna pass out. I think. I'm still laughing so hard.
Have you eaten? You're drinking.
Yo, you want to grab beer after this?
But no, he passed out, so it looks like we're getting a beer.
Oh my god.
Wait, did you actually go out after that? Did you go home?
No, we went out after that.
Oh my god!
would.
What?
You
I
would.
didn't-
Did you
I didn't-
drink?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
Drink.
good.
I didn't
Wait, were
drink,
you
but-
like okay, 100%? Okay, I know you.
But it was
From
the
what,
whole
from what I know
laughing
from
joke.
you, you were 100% at the table. Like you were just like you were contemplating. You were in your thoughts 100%.
Just
You weren't
casually
like there.
rehydrating with a
No,
beer.
Yeah.
you guys want to know the worst part? I was
You
on.
pissed yourself.
I was not only being Raj in offline, I was being Raj online. I had my fucking Instagram story out before the blood donations. I'm like, I'm here to give blood. Something
Dude,
like
could
that.
you imagine you recording yourself?
No, no.
That would be fucking the greatest video ever
On
created.
live, like you go live. Well,
Yeah.
that was probably
Hey,
before
guys,
the live era.
Please get out there and do,
Give blood.
Would that bother you guys watching someone pass out? Getting a
Yes.
needle?
I would think the person died.
Oh my god.
That would be my first
Dude,
reaction.
you always think someone dies. I do a video for a 1 minute video. You thought you died. Oh god, yeah.
So I just want to let you know that usually like our process is to give you a follow-up call in like 3 days or so.
Okay.
Okay, and that's just just to make sure that you're all good, unless you don't want us to phone you.
Can you FaceTime me? I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. All right. So since I wasn't able to give blood, there's a PSA. Somebody watching this needs to go get blood. But before you go, drink lots of water, salty foods. I should know this by now. Otherwise, you're gonna pass out like me.
I feel like I know you guys so well now.
yeah.
Well, this
Like-
is the second time doing it. It's almost like deja
Second,
vu.
you mean
Welcome,
third.
This
cast.
is the third.
Third time. All
I
right.
would even say-
Welcome.
This is my fourth time podcasting with you though, because
Oh,
we
you
did-
filmed before?
Yeah, we filmed one other time
So
about
you're-
TikTok.
You're cheating on me?
You know what, man? It was. This
is
was
so
supposed
cool.
to
We
be.
met online.
It's not that
Sorry.
serious,
If anything, I'm the side piece.
Like when was this like going on?
dude. Mindy's my main. We all know that.
So does that make you the side? Whoa.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's like walks out, just dramatic. Harmol's
I'm
left the
so
podcast.
sorry.
Just start. Could you imagine, like
What a way to
faking
start a podcast.
faking like a bunch of drama like that?
That's
A
what
lot of
happened
people
to
do
Dana
that.
White. He did that recently.
Dana White, you are an amazing guy. I can't thank you enough for being here. But Dana, I can't thank you enough for being here.
Thank you for all the kind words. I appreciate it. I am so fucking tired of doing podcasts. I'm literally done with them. I'm not doing any more podcasts.
I saw the
Yeah. How you know Howie Mandel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a podcast and he's like gassing up like Dana White. He's like introducing him, right?
I would never gas up that man. Like
Why?
bad or good? Why
Like
do
he was saying good stuff.
You are an amazing guy. I can't thank you enough for being here.
Like he was like, oh, like you're such
I
an
was thinking,
inspiration. You're all
gassing
like
him
this.
up in a bad way.
He wasn't even saying anything bad.
Oh,
It
okay.
was all like hyping him up. I think like, I don't know, like unless he's like, dude, I don't want to fucking hear this right now. But he's like,
Yeah.
you know what? I can't do podcasts right now. He walked out.
No.
I don't know if he came back or not. I didn't follow up with that, but literally just walked out of the podcast.
I mean, when you're that, you can. You
That's
can
so,
too.
that's so mean though.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't do that.
You're just dead almost. We had to stop
But
you.
you
to
did
hold
call him
back.
the side piece, so
Yeah, true.
rightfully so. I would
True.
also walk away
Exactly.
if I were committed to a podcast.
You know, Cass, I'm so excited to get to know you on another level today because we're out of our comfort zone and we have started a podcast and you happen to be a short form TikTok viral. I usually call you TikTok girl.
You do. You should change my name in your phone to TikTok girl.
No, but if
The
I
one and
do,
only.
but you also broke up with TikTok.
But
So
it's
is
so
it a-
like,
it's-
I
so
guess
you're
I'd
back
be
together?
known by my ex.
Are you
then.
guys back
Isn't that
together?
terrible? Like
Are you guys back
my
together?
reputation is my ex. No, we're not back together yet. I broke up with TikTok. That was the last episode that I did with you, and I'm not getting back together with TikTok for a minute.
Crazy. And I always thought TikTok was kind of weird. I was always like,
I love
"Mm."
TikTok.
I know,
love TikTok.
surprisingly, I would
It's
think
so
he's
addicting.
not, but
it's
it's
so toxic in the best way.
It is. It's just the amount of like shit you see on that is just
the
it's
amount I've
crazy.
learned and the amount I've seen.
Yeah,
equally
learning
as
wise
much
is
like
insane.
mm,
And then me loving to hit people with like, yeah, I just like researched, even though I just saw a TikTok of someone explaining it. I love saying that's my favorite thing.
like yeah, I just found this out today.
Yeah, I just found this out.
on
According
TikTok.
to like a study, like I'm just really just repeating what
Well,
exactly
it's
the
just
person
crazy.
said.
It's crazy, right? For a minute, there was a lot of like Netflix documentary stuff, and you'd be like, I watched, or YouTube documentary. You'd be like, oh, I watched a documentary on that. Now you just say, yeah, I saw a TikTok on it. That's like how
it's become
that's
so normalized.
that's how
yeah.
efficient though.
Yeah.
That's how efficient knowledge transfer has become now in like short
That
form,
too,
right?
and I guess like honestly, like I think TikTok fried my brain, but like
I feel like I got a little
I
dumber
can't
being on
sit.
there, but
I can't sit through like a
Yes.
whole 50-minute. Like I can sit through a movie,
they
but
put
like
10
YouTube, I
minutes on the
can't.
platform.
I can't use YouTube anymore. I don't know what the fuck it is.
yeah,
I can't sit through a
Well,
YouTube video.
they introduced 10
I'm
minutes.
fried.
Oh my gosh.
Well, TikTok is trying to become the new YouTube, which
It,
is
it
annoying
basically
because
is for
now
me personally.
they,
I'll
like,
say that.
They switched it to like long view, so like you're
Yeah.
no longer watching like this. You can
But
watch
the thing
like
is, it's
this.
more. I don't know. Like
You
I
can't
think
engage with
More
it. It's like-
interactive.
I feel like it is. Like for some reason, it's so easy.
Mhm.
Like
It's
something
just
about
you're
YouTube. I
used
guess
to-
the,
it's
it's
not
just-
easy.
I guess the
it's just
ads.
silk- I
Maybe
don't-
it's the ads. Maybe it's the fact that I don't know. When I swipe out of YouTube, I'm not going back on it.
What do you guys think? I wonder what people listening, do you use YouTube? We're obviously on YouTube.
Yeah, what's
and
your
we're on
most like
TikTok.
used app for like any kind of content you consume? Like
YouTube is king. Like it,
For
it
me,
will
it's
always be
YouTube.
king,
For me, it's YouTube, but I'm on YouTube.
it
pretty much.
was for me for a long time. I see
Yeah.
TikTok and X has taken over.
You know what I do though? Like I use TikTok for search, and that's how I became well known because it became my search engine. If I wanted to know what the Dyson Airwrap, if it was any good, I'd go to TikTok. I used to go to Reddit.
Yeah, I
used to
agree.
go to Reddit,
I agree.
But now I'm like, no, I'm gonna see
Oh
what
my
real
gosh, I
people
never
are
thought
saying.
about that.
Also, there's times where you search something up, the thing comes up, and it has nothing to fucking do with it. That's what
Which is
pisses me
annoying,
off.
yeah.
And it's like
You don't get that
usually-
on YouTube. That doesn't happen on YouTube. YouTube's always king.
And
in
I
that
will
sense.
say this,
and Google
yeah.
and Google Reddit.
'cause
you
they-
can't get that on YouTube. And plus, there'll be like a video where it's like, oh, like only people who know get this reference, and you like search it up, and it has a whole search thing now
Yeah.
where you click on it. I fucking hate how people don't explain themselves now anymore. Like in a video, you have to go through like their whole page,
Oh.
go to
It's a-
like
it's a-
part
it's a
17 just
strategy.
to get like.
Mhm.
I'm so happy. I think it's one creator, you probably know them. Like they actually expose this whole thing. Like people who break it up into parts are like, no, nothing happened in the next part. This is the whole story
Yeah.
in like one like 10-second video.
Wait, do you
I
do
like
that?
that.
Do you use that strategy? Is that how you got how many followers in how many days?
So I got on TikTok in January of 2023. In the first 5 days, I
Right when
actually
we started.
yeah
Just
hit
wanted to say that.
5K
Yeah.
and okay I hit 1K in a day, 20K in 5, and 50K in a month.
Why is TikTok followership so easy as TikTok users? Like why is it that so many users hesitate to subscribe on YouTube, right? So many people like you don't get that following that fast. On Instagram, same thing. And
I
on
have a
Instagram,
theory.
on Instagram, I understand, right? Because everyone in your friend circle knows who you're following and stuff. So you might not want like
you
to
can
be
see that on
following.
TikTok too.
You can see it on TikTok, but TikTok, it's like not a social media thing. Like
I
I don't
think
know,
it's easier than any app.
Yeah.
to follow
From what I
someone.
see, you just tap. That's it. Boom. Done.
Also, it doesn't mean that you'll
you
actually
don't have to go on
see
the page to
them.
do it either.
Yeah.
It's all, you know what's interesting? You think about like the psychology behind the way that you add the subscribe button on like how YouTube has it set up. It does feel like it's a little transparent on TikTok, so it's a little softer to click it. So
Also,
it's just
I have
easier to click.
subscribed
It's almost more
accidentally
attractive
to
to
so
click.
many people.
Mhm.
So many people.
Accidentally?
Because like I'm swiping, right?
It's so
or like
easy.
if you're like just grabbing your phone, like it's literally like the most
It's
lightest
the
tap.
most accessible area of like look at
Yeah,
where my
look,
finger is placed. That's
Like,
exactly
if
where
I'm
the
lying
follow
down,
is.
yeah.
So there's
Oh, the-
psychology behind that.
So
yeah.
is that what you're saying? Like that's the
That's
reason
one
why?
of the theories. So one, the finger placement. Like if you're on TikTok and you're holding your phone, the like and the follow button happen to be exactly
yeah.
accessible where your thumb is, which is technically the finger you would maybe be using for that. But another theory that I
interesting.
have is that
Crazy.
Instagram algorithm and YouTube algorithms are weighted differently when it comes to following and subscriptions. So on TikTok, you can follow somebody and never see them again on your For You page.
I agree. I've seen that.
Whereas, and because they're trying to push new content to you, so you engage with new content.
Ah, so following is less of
It's
a
weighted
commitment.
differently.
It's a less
You're not
commi-
gonna keep seeing that. I
Yeah.
like that better though, personally.
And then
That's
now they have
smart.
the follower tab on TikTok where you can go.
Yeah,
find
exactly.
those
If you really
people.
wanted to, you can go over to it.
Yeah.
Oh, the following side.
Like this For You page and this following
follower
page.
tab. Then there's a shop tab.
You ever look through your following page? Probably
Oh.
gets boring, right?
Anytime I want, I'm like, wait, what the fuck do you see? I'm like, oh, I'm on following. Fuck this. Go For You page.
From a content creator side, though, like I purposely
Obviously, you want people following you, though. If you guys follow us on TikTok, please check out the following reels. Please look at us.
Oh my
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No, go
it's
ahead. What
not
were you
all
saying?
about you with your. No, I'm kidding. But I
just joking.
really
man,
think
it's
that
always
like
me with
you
this guy.
should no, but you should actually engage with your following page because like those are the people that like you've committed to follow.
Those are your fans, essentially.
Yeah, well, and also like you've committed to follow them, so you should engage with their stuff if you like it. And as a creator, I only follow people that I feel inspired by or that I like their content. So I will
Oh.
purposely go and follow them.
You
see what I'm
see
saying?
what you're
And
saying?
the first video that look what I got when I
Yeah,
opened my
yo,
TikTok.
see where your phone.
It's
Yo,
me!
look where your thumb is.
Oh
Look,
my
yo,
god, that's so
yo, just
weird.
take a look at your thumb.
And like after TikTok's really
Look
trying
at
to make
where
sure.
your thumb is. Look where your thumb is.
Yeah, I know it's
right,
right.
at the fucking plus. How easy is that to accidentally hit?
The fact that my video was first though,
That's
that
scary.
one's
Oh
circulating.
no, I'm on my For You page. Oh,
That's
It's not, that's even more
That's
rare.
worse.
That's not the following. That
For
means,
use the random page.
that means like it was random and
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
why is that? I haven't. That video is old. Like it was like 2 weeks old.
That is scary. Should I open up
That's
mine? Yo,
from-
we need to do a test now. I'm opening up
No,
mine.
it's not.
I'm
No, but I
opening mine
actually
up
know
right now.
you. Like I've just searched you on TikTok.
Okay, no, I
know,
need
but
to refresh
nonetheless,
my
the
app.
fact that like that showed
but I
up
don't
while I
follow
was
you.
here.
I guess. No, I do.
No, mine says me when my man pisses me off right before the trip. So mine just like funny
I mean,
jokes.
but that's great too.
What does it say? What is it?
I
What
miss
is it?
TikTok
It's-
humor.
it's
like
It's me when my man pisses me off right before the trip. It's like, this is the type of shit I see. This is my.
Yeah.
This is why I'm so like it's
Vine, though.
funny.
Remember Vine? It's
I
so
miss
I
Vine.
loved
Vine.
Vine.
I
Honestly,
miss
Vine was awesome.
No, Vine is like what TikTok and Vine to me is very similar when it comes to that kind of stuff. right?
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
for entertainment, yeah, 1,000,000%. For education though, like it's a whole new way
I
to
think it's
learn.
miles
You have
above
so
anything.
much
You know,
access to
the,
that.
the
now.
way that it's, and this is crazy to say it like this, but as I talk to you guys about it, I feel the same way genuinely about TikTok as I feel about cocaine. I'm like, I'm not touching that because I'm gonna get hooked on it, and I'm not interested in it.
How the fuck do you expect me to be serious with that?
No,
With, like,
I'm being
what
serious
kind
about,
of-
like-
Cocaine is one hell of a drug. Like
No, but that's the way I see TikTok. It's like literally you're talking about how you're fried from it. Like I'm scared that I'm like gonna be using it all the time. I don't want to like. I
do you
always
have an
look
addictive
at it.
personality?
I would like to say yeah. I would say probably.
I would say yeah, I do.
I mean,
I have
we
an addictive
all have
personality.
those tendencies though.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just very conscious of the fact that like I actually am-
the doom scroll is real, but you
Quite
can doom scroll
disciplined
on
and
No,
Instagram.
I want you.
like,
I saw your video on that.
But I
I want
don't-
you to
no,
also
but-
like expand on that as well, because that's
What?
I've never thought of it that way.
What?
That
Which
what
one?
you said, like kind of like the whole paper thing you showed.
oh, you watched that?
Yeah.
Thanks. So like what you put in your brain?
Yeah, like I never thought of it that way, and I'm like, holy shit.
I don't
love
know.
Maybe this is
that's
why I
back in the
feel fried.
archives. Thank you.
How did you end up finding that one? Did you scroll really deep?
He
I
did.
scrolled. I was like looking at like cool like things. I'm like, oh, like what should you mean by this?
No, you were looking at the ones that had the most views probably.
No,
That's what I always do.
what a piece.
I'm
of
just
shit.
like, which one's got the most
I
views?
don't pin those anymore. I pin the analytics video because nobody TikTok itself liked that video. My analytics video, which has 1 million views, TikTok like creator liked that, which I thought was really funny because they don't talk about their own analytics. I'm like, how do you expect people to be successful on here if you don't teach them how to use the platform?
There's no analytics they give you.
They give you analytics,
You're the
but they
Mr.
don't
Beast.
teach you.
You're exposing
how-
the ins and outs. You're the Mr. Beast
Yeah.
of TikTok.
I mean, I'd love that
What,
title.
is Mr.
but
Beast doing that for YouTube?
exactly,
He's,
but
he's
I'm like
given
the
his he's
TikTok-
given his algorithm and whatever formula out so many times.
Yeah, but that goes back to I had this conversation with Tim, right? You could have everything. You could like, would you give away your recipe? And not everyone's going to be able to use your recipe.
That's
People
why
need you
he's
to
not
hold their
scared
hand.
to give it out. He
Yeah.
knows that no one could do what he's
no,
doing.
no. You know how much effort that man puts into those videos too,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like,
you
have to be
think?
crazy.
Why do
Also,
you think-
there's a certain energy about him. Like, I think viral creators have like nobody can predict if
Okay,
you're gonna
but
go
like,
viral. But
there's something about him. I feel like he's murdered someone. Like I don't this like hey, today we're gonna be seeing how much food you can eat in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like those
You
eyes,
didn't even blink when
those
you said
eyes,
that. Like
dude,
that was
because I was
on
being
point.
him. I was in
Yeah,
character.
no. I felt that though.
Because he does that in the video. Like his eyes, like, oh, there's some eyes. He's seen some shit.
I'd like to see him in person to see if I like got.
No,
a
I feel like
vibe,
he's
you
a very
know?
nice guy though. Honestly, I haven't heard one bad thing about anyone meeting him. Like from every
Yeah.
content creator I've heard,
Yeah.
but he's a very nice person, and it'd be cool to collab with him. Come on our podcast.
I'm taking back everything that I
Yeah,
said.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. No,
I
but
wonder
You
if
got
the
that?
no blink is an effect thing.
I love Mr. Beast.
We love you.
we
We'll put you
love
on the bottom of the
Mr.
microphone.
Beast. Yes, we're really sorry. Don't get us canceled. No, but the thumb thing is interesting. What's the paper analogy? I don't know. Can you explain it?
Basically,
explain
like
it to
when
him.
you
It's
scroll
interesting.
through the platform.
Pause. Sorry, I was gonna say. What's interesting about asking you this question is it's a TikTok, so it's probably gonna take like 2 seconds to explain.
She started putting the mic closer.
You keep telling me. No,
Oh.
I thought that you were like telling me to move my mic because
Oh.
you've done that before. Like,
No. Anyways, go on.
oh yeah, it's basically like what you put in your brain is like what you create, and it's very damaging. Like from a psychological perspective, that's why I think they're trying to put so many limitations for children because you don't know what you're exposed to. So that's why I'm so careful with your For You page. If you feel like it's not content that resonates with you, or if you feel like you're not learning from it or you're not inspired by it, you shouldn't be putting it in your brain. Like it's just like
Agreed.
I think with the crumpled paper analogy, that's more of like you feel like what other like I don't know if that was related to words. That video is so old. Like what he found was from like August of last year.
Do you
It was
remember what it
good.
was? What do you remember? What do you remember?
So basically, you're saying like, okay, like you see a video, it's emotional, so that makes you feel this way. Then next time you see a different video with like a different kind of mood and kind of like atmosphere kind of to it, so that makes you feel this way. So
You
within a
keep crumpling the
minute,
paper.
you're going through crazy amounts of like scaled emotions.
That gives me goosebumps hearing that.
Like, how
That's
fucked is that?
crazy.
I
I'm
never
so
thought of it
glad
that
you
way.
remembered this because
Yeah.
that's the thing. I create and I forget. Like I don't watch my own videos again, and if they go viral, they go viral. But like that's so true. And I remember thinking that when I made that video at the time. It's funny. I remember what I feel. I don't remember what I say. And I don't know if anybody else feels like that. I don't know if you guys feel like that when you create. But I remember feeling in the moment like everybody's throwing their trauma on me, like in my DMs, in my For You page. Like this one lady was talking about how she lost her husband. I'm like, ugh, my heart. Then you see a homeless dog, my heart again
Yeah.
for a different reason. And then I just felt like I was being crumpled, like my soul was like being crushed on there. And
Wow.
think about how many
I'm
emotions
feeling
you go
that
up
as you
and
share
down.
that. Like
Yeah.
I'm
But
feeling
But then
the
like
emotion.
so you go from like my content that's like this is how you grow on TikTok, happy, cheery, like maybe some sass. Then you like have like my husband died last year and I've been alone, and then you want to cry.
Yeah.
So you're like I'm learning, then I want to cry, and then I laugh at this video about
And
when
it's
my-
all in a span of like a couple minutes. You're
Yeah.
going through all this range of emotion. That has to have some crazy effect.
No,
on
it-
the brain.
it
And you
has
talked
to.
about how it
it's
can have like
stress.
such a
like
it's so bad.
your receptors in your brain are like, what do we do?
What the fuck is
Yeah.
going on?
That's where the psychology degree comes in, hey?
Yeah, that's what I was
Look
also
at
gonna
that.
ask you. Like, have you like I guess you did in that
Yeah.
video. Have you ever like used your kind of your education in the past to kind of help with your content that you make now?
I think accidentally, like truly when I tell you this, like I made that video because I remember doing an exercise with paper in college where like words hurt. That's why I was like paper exercise. That's what I remember is
Nice.
every time,
It's cool.
yeah, like every time like somebody says something mean to you, like the paper crumbles a little bit more. And like the more you take on from the world, the more it crumbles. So then when you go to flatten it out, it's never the same. Just like how like if you're bullied or if something happens
Wow,
to
I
you.
like that
That's such
analogy.
such a good analogy. You always hear
Yeah.
about broken glass analogy.
Yeah, broken
Yeah,
glass.
but
You
paper
always
is
hear
certain,
the
you can
paper.
never flatten it back
Never.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but technically though, if you put an iron to it, wouldn't it work?
It would just
Yeah,
go
but,
right
like-
through it, bro.
We're fragile as humans.
Yeah.
Or more than we want to say. And I think unintentionally, I think psychology does infuse what I talk about. And I think it improves empathy as well. Like I never ever misjudge a creator because like with Mr. Beast, maybe he has stuff going on at home. Like maybe he's not blinking because he's not sleeping. I don't know.
He's not.
But like he might
I
not
honestly,
be sleeping.
I could take that as a guy that doesn't sleep.
Yeah, he
He's
might
go,
not be
go,
sleeping.
go.
But like it makes me like when I look at somebody like him, I'm like, he's not sleeping. What made you feel like you had to push yourself that hard? Like what inside of you screams?
The drive.
You know, but like besides the drive, there's something underneath the drive in every person from when you're young, whether there's a lack mindset, there's a mindset behind something that pushes you to be more.
I
With
think
me,
for him it was
it-
like motivation from
motivation.
his mom said to him, "You're not gonna become shit."
Yeah. I mean,
And his
that's,
family did
think
not
about
want him to
how,
do
like,
this.
hurtful that is to a
Yeah.
young child and like the implications of how much that pushes you to be better.
Yeah, like
Like-
for me, I remember every single time when I played sports, every coach that said something bad about me, I never forgot that. I could
Yeah,
name you
you
word for word who
never-
said it,
you
word for
never
word
forget.
what they said to me. Never
Yeah.
forgot it. Every time I get on the field, that's exactly what goes in my head.
And you get better.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
same thing with my dad. Straight up, just like always, like, no way, that's a dumb move. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you seriously gonna do that? You're not gonna be able to do it, right?
Mhm.
I've had a lot of people tell me that, and now that I hear that less, it actually is not good. I actually kind of need it.
Tough love. You know, I think I don't know if everything that is out there is tough love, but I will say that there is some sort of driving factor behind everybody's motivation to do well.
Yeah.
Like for instance, with me, I was supposed to be a nurse, like I told you guys in another point in time this evening. But I was supposed to be a nurse, and I remember my family pushed me in that direction so hard, and there was something in me that was fighting so much but I wanted to impress them, and I'm like, where did that come from? Like, why did I feel like I wasn't enough to start with? And that's why I think counseling helps, because you learn
so much.
you learn the self-awareness alone. Like that's what the degree gave me, was the awareness to know what was me and what was invasive thoughts and what was maybe a childhood wound or what was something being projected onto me that maybe I didn't deserve.
I think that's what a lot of people nowadays, like how, like growing up, seeing how people act now. Like I feel like when they're younger, teenagers, it gets excused. But when it's like this stuff still happening and these people are like in their mid-20s, almost 30s, it's like, dude, like you're really like hurt with something and you just don't even know what it
Yeah,
is.
and I
And
feel
it
like-
feels sad for them.
Like I think that's why I feel like my first emotion is to feel compassion, really. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that to be like all like kumbaya, Mickey Mouse, like no, but I genuinely feel that like whenever I see somebody trying to overachieve or just like when they're so self-consumed in their own little world, I'm like, I just see a little child that like didn't get enough attention.
What
Not
do you mean
assuming,
self-consumed?
as in like not like big ego or like big personality, not like that, but more so like they're just so consumed by like, oh, like my mom said this to me today, and they just can't shake it. And,
Oh, okay.
you know, and like they're in their own head, and they don't like they get in their
Everyone's
own
kind of
way.
against them type of feeling.
Yeah, like it's always
Yeah.
the world against them, and I'm like, who hurt you so bad for you to feel like the world's beautiful if you choose to believe that?
It's absolutely, yeah. You can look at, it's the glass half full type. It's literally that thing,
Yeah.
right? It's just,
Versus half empty.
yeah. But some people, unfortunately, like I do feel, I don't really believe in luck. Do you believe in luck?
I believe in intention.
So you don't believe in luck.
I don't think in that sense, no.
You
Not in
believe
the
in luck?
like, let me rub the rabbit's foot.
There has to be luck. It's just like there's too many things that like the burnt toast theory. Obviously, you know about that. You're on TikTok, right?
Mhm.
I've heard it, but well, can you explain it just and
It's
for anyone who
it's
doesn't know what it
essentially
is?
like, well, I'm gonna give like the worst explanation of it, but like
Do
I'm
you know
gonna
the
try.
explanation really well?
Do you know like a better explanation? Like, are you
I
like
want to hear yours first. I'll back you up.
mine's essentially like, so do you remember with the Alaskan flight where that door blew wide open mid-flight?
Ridiculous.
Sure.
yes.
And like where the door blew open from, two people were supposed to be sitting in the seat right where that door blew up and fell off in the plane, however many feet in the sky it was. Those two people didn't show up to that flight just by chance. And the burnt toast theory is essentially saying that you essentially miss out on something that could have essentially like ended
Save
your
your
life or
life.
fucked your life up.
Yeah, like it saves your life.
What
Like
does
like
burnt
burnt
toast
toast as in
have
like,
to
oh, I burnt my toast, I gotta go make another one. And just that one movement, one choice, example, like, oh shit, I forgot my keys upstairs. Oh, I forgot to close
Oh,
my
okay, just one step
choice
away,
you made.
Yeah.
one choice away
yeah.
from like death.
It's like a domino
Yeah.
effect, kind of like, you know, like
Yeah.
you change one little thing, like, oh shit, like forgot to close
That
my
was
door.
well said. You covered it well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't believe like for me, I'm more of a religious person, but I think that like
you are a religious person?
yeah, but
Of what religion?
Christian. I'm Christian, but like I think that I also am slightly spiritual as well, where I believe that like there is a divine connection between everybody, and like you are protected from certain things. So like some people call that luck, some people call that like the universe, some people call that God. Like that's what I believe in, but I recognize that there's different forms and there's different shapes to that. But I think personally, I believe in intention more so. Like if you intend like in your head, like I am safe, I am healthy, I am well. Like the
It's a
more I repeat
manifestation
that to
kinda.
myself, the more that it happens. Like every intention that I set, I achieve. Like it's crazy, and I could get into that another time, but it's
So
true.
like you're really big on probably like affirmations, manifestation,
Less
stuff
about
like that.
affirmations. It's just like in my intentions, like I'm very intentional with the intentions that I set. But like I remember in 2018, I made a list of things that I intended to have in a partner, and I dated all around. Like I dated a bunch of people, and as soon as like I would always cross-reference that list. It wouldn't be something that I would read every day, but every time I date somebody new, it just wouldn't fit. And I'm like, but I wouldn't, again, it wasn't the end all be all, but it was more of like, these are exactly the traits that I want. I intend to be like, this is my life partner. And then sure enough, like I go through all these different phases of different people and none of them just matched it to the T. And this stuff was specific, like, you know, like loves my dog, didn't have a dog at the time. You know, stuff like that where it was like so specific.
Damn.
And
That's intense.
the partner that I have now matches every single thing. And I have chills because like I set that intention years ago, and he would have never known that would have been him, and I would have never known that was him as well.
That's like the law of attraction.
That's
too,
how I feel about Harmol.
It's like a law of attraction, kind of.
Yeah, it is. Intention setting is a part of it, but it's not just like you can intend to be well, and like it's glass half full. Like your intention is to, you know.
But the thing is, it's like you set these intentions, but you also kind of like, I guess you can say like work towards them or do something
Inspired
to kind of
action. Yeah. And I think like, but the more you force it, the more you realize that you aren't really in control in that way. Like you control, like if you define what you want, you have it, but you have to trust that it'll be there. So if you go on a bunch of dating apps and go on a bunch of dates, you're like, okay, I'm taking inspired action. But like sometimes you just have to sit back and like recognize that it will find you eventually. But if you stress out about it, it won't.
I find it interesting that sometimes our beliefs in different areas can be extremely contradictory. So in my case, I do want to believe in manifestation. And I would say on one breath, oh my God, manifestation, that's how I was able to achieve A, B, and C. I also worked extremely hard for those things, and I put myself in those positions.
To say that like anybody who manifests and work hard too.
But that's the thing about manifestation. You can't just write it down and
you have
sit
to
down.
do it. You have to do
you
it.
have to do things towards
but,
it.
But then on another token, I would be saying, this is all simulation. Everything's planned out. And like, you know, I took a philosophy class that talked about reality and existence.
Oh, those are so good.
But I found it so fascinating, and it changed. That's like one class. That's why I think school can be important, is if you can go into a course and really pick something up like that crumpled paper theory, there's value in school. And I think there's a lot of that. Now, I believe that everything has been planned out. Everything from the beginning of time till the end of time is all planned out. And I believe that. But then I would believe in manifestation. That actually doesn't add up here, because
it does.
if it's all planned out,
you were always going to make that action.
No, sure. There you go. Sure. If I wanted to believe in manifestation and that's what I believed, whatever. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, if I'm sitting here and actually manifesting it, or it was going to happen anyways, then there's no point in manifesting. You see what I'm saying? I'm not anti
I see what
manifestation.
You're
I manifest all the time.
Because if everything's predetermined, every thought you've ever had in your life, doesn't matter what it is, has always been predetermined. You learning about this, you doing this, everything's predetermined.
Yeah, you believe
essentially, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you do in your life, everything's predetermined.
Yeah, so whatever I'm doing, whether I believe it or not, is also predetermined.
So you don't have control then, never.
I don't think that free will exists.
It's interesting.
I think that I think that everything is, but the other thing that about glass half full and glass half empty, I just read a quote recently, which I was so fascinated by. And it was, the gates of hell are locked from the inside.
Yeah, facts. I think we're in hell.
No.
I believe it.
Well, that's not what I meant. I mean, I guess you can perceive it however you want.
Well, I honestly do think that. I think we're in the worst reality we could possibly be in. I completely
that's
agree
a very
with that.
negative way of looking at it. But Harmol, maybe that is your way of thinking. Fine.
There could be some,
You're
like
negative
there
ass
can be
guy.
heaven
Yeah,
and
that
hell
is
on
true.
earth. Actually, like I believe that you hold the keys to both on earth and the way that you look at things. So like you said, if the gates from hell are locked on the inside, like you can make life a living
Just
hell.
get out.
You can
unlock it,
literally make life a living hell if you choose to. So
the gates of hell are locked from the inside, meaning you're a victim of your own situation. Like, just get out of it, right?
Well, actually, there's a show. Have you ever watched Lucifer, the show?
oh, like the first episode.
Okay, so like
Yeah, so
essentially in
barely.
that show, he's a devil, right? He comes back down to earth or comes up to earth. When he's a devil, essentially your hell is essentially you're stuck in the worst fucking mistake you made in your life, and you constantly keep living it constantly until you finally, like, I guess, learn something. Then you go to heaven. I don't know if that's how it is in Christianity. I have no idea. If that's the case, then maybe I
I
just
don't
never
think
knew
that you
that.
get stuck in the same cycle. I just
And
think
it's called a hell loop. So that's kind of like what he says, like by hell's whatever from the inside.
locked
Well,
from inside.
I guess that's it. Like you are in your own hell.
Yeah. But I think that you can make it that way. Just like how if you really believe that there's good things in the world, that's what you see. If you really think that there's bad things in the world, that's what you see. That's why I think heaven and hell exist on earth in that way, because it's a product of your mind. That's where the spirituality stuff comes in. Like, I don't think that like this is the only dimension. And I also think that like heaven isn't necessarily like a place you go. I think it's just like you're reunited with the higher being that you already are. Like you get a fraction of who you are on Earth, and then you're reconnected with that in the future.
But I also think that we constantly, like we've spoken about this before with kind of the whole heaven and hell thing, where I think that this is not the only time you're on Earth until you fix the mistake that's been plaguing you for all your lifetimes.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
think once you're done that, you're done this whole loop and you
Mhm.
move on to something else.
I have a karmic numerologist, and every time I speak to her, like she knows nothing about me other than my birthday, right? And she's so impressive because she told me who I was in a past life, and I've had some people like give me arguments of like, well, what's the point? Like, why does who you were matter?
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe it's so then you like can have a more enriching experience the next time
Yeah,
around.
because you have the same problem every time.
Like apparently I was a politician. There were so many different, which I don't like politicians. So it's funny. Maybe I have that loathing because I was one, and I'm like, it takes one to know one. But there's so many things where, you know, if you continue to repeat cycles and you're stuck here, or if you don't learn the life lesson, maybe you'll just cause yourself more pain in this lifetime because you were already supposed to learn it. So I don't know. I believe in that stuff too.
Because there's so many like weird things that kind of support the whole like past lives thing, because like
Yeah.
weird feelings,
Yeah.
nostalgia.
Gut
I've never had
instinct.
any of those
Like-
though.
like,
That's the
Oh,
weird thing.
I've talked to him about
But
this
I've
before
never-
too.
yeah.
I have nostalgia for 2 time periods: the 80s and World War II. For some weird fucking reason, I have no
I feel
ties
that way
to
about
that.
Egypt. No
Egypt?
joke. Literally, like I just feel like I belong there. You know, weird, but like it's something where like you just can't get enough of it. Same thing with like a little bit of outer space stuff.
Same.
I've never been
Space.
more enamored by it, and like
Space is
I don't want to go.
insane.
I think space.
I do want to go. That was one of my one of the things I wanted to become first, astronaut. I'm just not school smart, so
Yeah.
maybe next life. But
But I remember I remember really being connected and confused by it, and to the point where I avoided Star Wars because like there was something in me. I know that's so stupid, but I avoided it because I was scared to like
it is scary.
like I
Space
was
is scary. though.
scared, like just like open water, like dark open water.
Mm.
Can't look at it because it's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And I think so anyway, this karmic numerologist, she's amazing, and she's on my TikTok page. Like she's the only reposted video that I have on TikTok because she's that good. And she said that apparently I'm a being from a different planet, and I'm here to help heal the earth and help everybody move into the next dimension.
You
So
know-
I'm like, that's crazy. I get chills when she says stuff like that too.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't feel. I
It's a
don't relate
little
to any of
woo
that. I don't
for
relate to
this
any of that.
podcast though.
So
the
is this
thing
my
is-
first
but
time
the
living
thing
through
is-
this?
Maybe.
Could be your first
Yeah.
lifetime. You
Or
can
maybe-
connect with my lady. She's cool. She's nice person. She's from Romania.
The lady you're talking about that you reposted? Huh. No, so on the note of like spirituality and I guess just different religions and things like that too, different belief systems, those things you can change. You can, you know, as you grow up, you can reshape the way you think and the way you see things.
Mhm.
Causes a lot of issues in the world today because people just don't want to look at anyone else's perspective and are really stuck in their own perspective
Yeah.
in the way they were raised.
Yeah.
Now, one of the conversations that you and I had off camera was around, you know, growing up as a mixed
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
And so there are people out there that believe that, you know, that only they should reproduce people in the same. There are people that believe, you know, in all, I think in all types of races that, you know, they want to
You
reproduce.
should stay within your
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as someone that grew up around a lot of multicultural people, that never really. I remember Russell Peters saying one time.
Russell Peters. the
Remember Russell
classic.
Peters?
The classic. Yes.
Yeah, Russell Peters. One of his jokes that stood out when I was younger was about how the whole world's gonna mix. He was turning into a joke. He's like, "Hey guys, racism. I don't know racism. He's like, you guys are all gonna be around soon. The world's mixing, right?" It's a funny joke at the time, right?
Oh my God, he is like childhood though. I don't.
Back in the
Where
day.
is he now? Like,
He's still doing.
He still
comedy.
does shows.
is he? Oh.
No, so I went to his. I got
Nice.
tickets to go to his show at Rogers, or I think it was Rogers Arena. It's our biggest arena here,
Mhm.
and
Second biggest.
biggest, whatever, main arena. And it's freaking his show, and it was right around the time that the Malaysian flight, I think it was, that went missing.
Disappeared.
Oh
And he made jokes about that,
That's too.
and it was still
No.
missing. It was like fresh, guys.
no, it's too fresh.
That's
no,
way
but
too
that's
fresh.
like I thought it was fresh too, but it was like funny enough, I guess. But like the point is,
Speaking of that, that shit's fucking weird.
like people going missing.
Is that on
No
TikTok?
evidence.
Do they talk about that on
Oh,
TikTok?
conspiracy talk. There's everything on conspiracy talk. My video
Do
landed
they
on
not
conspiracy
censor
talk.
it though?
I
They-
love
they-
talking
they-
about conspiracies.
They
Me
censor
too.
a lot though on TikTok, don't they? Isn't TikTok like #1 for censorship out of all platforms?
You still find if
No.
you're looking for
Are
conspiracy,
you kidding me?
there's
I've-
some
I
stuff.
found
Illuminati's on
yeah,
there.
I found way more conspiracies, way more like fucked up shit you never even hear about on TikTok than anywhere else.
when that submarine went missing on
Yo.
the Titanic, the stuff that they were
Oh
talking
my
about, like the
God.
theories, the fact that the game,
Yeah.
like I learned everything about that sequence of events because of TikTok.
Yeah.
Like that it was
Just
controlled
short,
by a
diff-
game.
and just short
thing.
different clips, right? Like one
Yeah.
thing taught you
Yeah.
one thing, one other thing taught you another
Like,
thing.
oh,
another
do you
thing
know
taught
these
another
people's
one.
background?
Yeah.
Oh, do you know who these people
Did
interact
you know
with?
that this didn't clear inspection? Did you know that this like has happened sort of before?
And it's complete BS.
Do you know that's controlled of a PS5 control or like an Xbox
well, no, because
control?
like they have like they show the articles and stuff. And
Yeah.
They show old news
crazy,
footage.
man.
It's
Trust me,
bad.
TikTok's like probably the best for information wise. I would say by far.
Maybe it was. Do you think it still is? I
think
think
it still
censorship's
is.
pretty strong on
I'm
it. I
still
know
getting the
I
same
was like,
content.
Everybody
slightly
always gets-
censored, so
you were censored.
I was censored.
No, if you search on Instagram right now for any sort of like
I have a good example of that.
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
with Paris. So for instance, like there was they called it literally just this was a TikTok trend. They told you to do this. Look up Paris on TikTok, YouTube,
Oh,
and
they're doing those
Instagram. You know,
riots?
yep.
Yeah.
Because there was riots in Paris. You would only see the riots on TikTok. You would not see it on Instagram. You'd see the
Which is
beautiful
why
Eiffel Tower.
yeah.
You'd see beautiful Paris. You'd see a croissant. You would see everything but the riots. Then you would go to YouTube and then maybe you'd see something about the news on there. But TikTok was the only place that actually had like boots on the ground in
Yeah.
theory for those moments in time where we all like collect as a mass and, you know, do riots and stuff.
From what I've seen, TikTok will get the first like original
They're more
raw
They're
footage.
kind of like banning stuff
Yeah.
now. But back in the
Yeah.
day, it was like the first place to go.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, back to the point that I was talking about. You can control how you think, right?
Yeah.
Perception and everything can change over time. What you can't change is, being what you're born
yeah,
with,
who
with
you are.
mixed race, right?
Mhm.
So there are people online that are, or not just people in general that think that they should marry within their same caste, let alone their race or religion, etc. Right? As someone that over time, I was saying growing up in multicultural area, over time I do see value in, being with someone that is similar to me and understands the culture, and I see value in that. I by no means am I
Being
someone
a
that
purist. If you
yeah,
will.
but I do see, and I also thought a lot. I think a lot about a lot of weird things. You talk about manifesting and stuff. Definitely, I am big on manifesting. I naturally do it. But same thing. I think far forward into the future, and I'm out here thinking like, okay, if my kid is a half, right? How are they going to be? How are they going to feel about their identity? How are they going to feel? I grew up nervous about who I was because I was a minority in my area. But then you become a new age minority, which maybe is not a minority as we go. Obviously, the world is mixing. But someone like me, I'm so curious about I guess I'm looking so far into the future about my children and grandchildren, but I'm also rewinding and thinking back about my ancestry. And I think about that a lot. And I think about how I ended up here because of their actions. You talk about the burnt toast effect. What if, one thing was different and I wasn't here, right? And there's a million things you could talk about for that. And then talking to you, you grew up feeling like you did experience a little bit of racism, but you were still got the privilege. Like, you want to talk a little bit about that? How you feel? Did we talk? I think that's what you said. I don't remember. Maybe I don't put
This
words in
was
your
just like
words in your
such
mouth.
a random conversation that we had at like 3 a.m. my time, midnight here. We were still at your house filming another podcast.
I think you flew in that day, right? the day
the day
before.
prior. So
Yeah,
I was
3
still
hour time
adjusting.
difference.
It was tough, but yeah, I think for me, growing up biracial never really. It's funny because my family was always so supportive and they never made me feel different. But I always remembered like my Filipino family would stop talking in their language and start speaking in English as soon as I came around. And I understand a lot more than they realized, but nobody taught me the language. Like, I think that was a specific decision that they made raising me. So even to this day, like, they'll stop speaking in their language. And as a kid, I internalized that as like, are they talking about me? Because like I knew that they weren't, but they would just like pause and stop and like adjust who they felt like they needed to be because
Do they
I
still
entered
do
the
that?
room. Yeah, they still do it, but it's not malicious. And like, I'm to the point now where I'm like, I kind of get the gist of what they're saying. So I know it's not about me. But when I was a kid, like I didn't know. And I remember like, it was always the same, like, because like my mom's American and my dad's Filipino. I remember like they'd stop, and I think they were just trying to be polite. Like I think that was it. But I remember I had a discussion with one of my friends where she was like half African American and half white, and she's like, I just don't feel like I'm either or, and I don't feel like I fit into both. And I think when I was with like my white friends, I remember like they prioritize different things. And I remember like I tried to fit in that mold. But then when I was with my Asian friends, I didn't quite fit that stereotype either. You know what I mean? Of like the typical, like, I don't know. I just didn't really ever feel like I fit in that way. And then when somebody ever called me Asian, that almost triggered something in me because I'm like, wait, I'm Asian? And I remember this one guy like didn't want to date me because I was Asian. And that's when I like started like internalizing that, being like, wait, I don't like who I am. And I started like changing my makeup, doing all these different things because he liked the stereotypical like blonde white girl. And because I'm mixed with that, I'm like, oh, well, I'm like part of that. So I was like trying to lean more into my like white
That's so
features.
sad.
And I can't believe I did that over one person's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, you internalize different things, but I did have the privilege of not experiencing as much as maybe some other people, you know, like I think a lot of different ethnicities experience a lot more. And for me, it was just like weird realizations that I don't fit in either category.
Did you grow up in Baltimore?
Yeah.
So was it? Did you have like a tough time, like kind of? Well, you already said you had a tough time like fitting in with like different groups. When you grew up a little older, was it then easier to become friends with more people, or was it kind of the same struggle?
I think it just made me adaptable. If anything, like there's no circumstance, like because I got thrown into a corporate environment really early. I learned to just mold to wherever I was. Like, and no matter what situation you throw me into now, like I can make myself comfortable. You're really adaptable too. And I think like no matter what room you're in, you can make yourself comfortable. And I think I had to learn my own personal security in settings where maybe I didn't always feel welcome or secure.
Do you think that being mixed gives you an advantage in content creation? Do you think it doesn't make any difference? Do you think it gives you a disadvantage?
People have been really cruel online, but
Can you mind elaborating?
Yeah, I've had some hate comments. So like they'll assume race. So for instance, when I first blew up on TikTok, because I grew really fast.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And I got accused of being a Chinese spy for hacking the algorithm. I'm not Chinese. So
isn't that crazy?
Literally, they're like,
So
spy,
fucked.
get off
But
the
that's
platform.
a classic comment on a troll comment.
Yeah,
right?
but it did nothing to me.
He's probably one of the
But, like,
guys. He probably did comment.
On our stuff, they'll probably say deport them.
Well, and which is awful. And you're like, what the hell?
Terrorist.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so bad. But basically, they would, and it didn't hurt me as it hurt. Like it didn't hurt me as a person. It hurt the part of me that felt bad for the people that would read that and be like, they hate Chinese people, or you know, like if I made a rule where if somebody was making like kind of suggestive language towards a specific group of people, it's one thing if you hate on me, that's fine. But it's another if you make a slight at a larger group of people through me. So I deleted those immediately.
That's
so
good.
You would never, if
That's
I caught
great.
it.
Don't give it oxygen.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I caught it, it's gone. But I can't catch everything. But I remember that was like when I got like, I landed on the conspiracy side of TikTok because I used the term gatekeeping as one of my hooks, which is a big thing in conspiracy. If you know, you know, my video landed on conspiracy talk, and that's where
what's the
Essentially just holding back information.
no. But why is that such a conspiracy?
because it's used in a
term?
lot of political or like you can even say like people are gatekeeping stuff about the Illuminati, the stuff the Illuminati doesn't want you to know.
Like, say for example, I had a sick restaurant, right, that I wanted to go to, and I didn't want to tell anyone. I'm gatekeeping it.
No, but so you use that. So you use
it's
the word
typically
gatekeeping. You use the
used in
word
a conspiracy type of
but
way.
because you use the word, TikTok heard that word and then
TikTok
put you in.
pushed me to the people that search for gatekeeping.
And there's
Is
a
it- did
lot
you do
of
that by
people
design?
that
No,
look
it
up.
was an accident.
And conspiracies are huge on TikTok, so that's why you get like that whole like thing.
But you know what? It's actually not just like I described it as cocaine or whatever. But the other thing is too, like it's just like you're losing control. You're like going down a water slide, and I don't want to go down the water
There
slide.
is
I want to have
slight
control over the
control.
content. No, I'm just saying like I don't want to go down this water slide of like it actually is a vortex. It's not like the other social media where it's a scroll. It's a vortex. Like you're in and you're getting sucked
That's
in.
why they
It's
call
true.
it the rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
every platform was made to be addictive. Like
YouTube
all
was
of
the
these
same
tech
way.
executives.
No,
yeah.
but the way that it sucks you in, like you said, it's easier to subscribe. It's easier to follow. You like watching content on it
No,
better.
but
The way
back
that
then when
it's-
there was no TikTok, no Vine, I would be literally doing the same thing on YouTube.
Yeah,
See a
on
video,
YouTube.
first suggested, oh, that's next. Oh, next part,
I would
you're on
binge
for hours.
YouTube.
Oh, okay. I guess my ADHD just doesn't allow me
But
to do that.
to be
in
fair,
general.
like all of these tech executives, they don't let their kids on the app You know, like think about how
Yeah.
protective they are of their own children.
They know how fucked up it is.
Because
That's so
it's made to be
crazy.
addictive
That's so
up
telling.
to it. But when it comes to content creation, I believe that nothing connects like a human to a human, because there's almost something like I have this like belief system. When you're on TikTok, it's like FaceTiming somebody. Like if you come across my video, you feel like you're talking to me, and that
Yeah.
is by design. Like psychologically, I want to talk directly to somebody. Whereas with an AI, you just don't have that same human connection. People are going to try to build communities around an AI, but you're never going to directly create a community with an AI. There's a huge distinction. Mic drop.
Yeah, but did you ever answer the question around how you met people through this process?
Yeah, so social media changed my life. I think this is probably the best, like like we started like, hey, how did
Yeah.
social media, the way to wrap this up in a nice bow and like make this concise is when you get on social media and you go viral, even if you go semi-viral, like it doesn't matter. You get exposed to different types of people that really need you. And you could give, like Mr. Beast gave his secret to success. I was doing the same thing. Anybody could do anything that they want to if they listen to my advice. You could go through my TikTok channel. You will learn a lot about TikTok just from watching my videos for free. And that was on purpose, not because I was trying to monetize. But then when I took on one-on-one clients, I charged a pretty like hefty upfront fee because I was also working a full-time job. Took on 7 clients at one time while
Damn.
working full-time, and I burned myself out. However, one of those clients ended up being somebody that I work now with full-time. So like never say no to opportunities, never say no to meeting with people, even if it's an even exchange of like, hey, Cass, can I be your business coach and you give me social media tips? I'm all for that because knowledge exchange is just as much, if not more so important than the abundance from monetary exchange. So I've met more like I found a lady that helped me budget. Like I didn't know what to do with
You're
my
never
money.
too small. You're never too big.
Yeah.
How
and
did you find? Sorry, it's on
she
TikTok?
found me on TikTok and she's like, hey, because I was on live one time and I was like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out my taxes and I'm like a new business owner. Like,
Nice.
you know, I was just being upfront. I'm like, I'm new to this, guys. Like, and I was kind of ranting about taxes because I got a tax notice. Like, great, you know? And so this lady she was just from the goodness of her heart. She's like, hey, I did this for a living. Like, I worked in these companies. Like, let's just, like, literally just to be nice. And like, shout out to Mia, like, if she ever listened to this, but she helped me so much understand the difference between business and personal finances, which I just didn't know. Like, who teaches that unless you like actively are searching for it, but you don't know what you don't know. So TikTok has brought me to people that have helped me grow, but also like have allowed me to have a different life that I would have never expected. And that's a shout out to Inga.
Shout out to Inga.
That's our shared connection.
That's my former boss at Tesla and one of the smartest humans on earth that I've
Best
ever met.
person I've ever met.
And-
And I'm not just saying that because like I'm here. But
No, I say she's one of the most incredible people I've ever met too.
yeah.
But Cass, it was so nice to have you.
I feel like we still covered so much.
We still covered a
It
great
was
This was
things.
solid.
I think for people that are sitting there scrolling through their phones, I hope that they're now a little more aware of how much of an impact this algorithm is having on you. And I didn't realize until recently, by the way, just one last thing, how like it's just even me as I sit here and I always talk about different perspectives. I talk about being open and learning. You don't realize like how different your algorithm is versus mine until you actually use
So
someone else's,
personal.
right? It's so
It's so personal.
and it's actually almost like, you know, it's actually like kind of crazy. Like I just, you look at it and like I look at my business one that has different stuff that I search and look at our Limelight one now is different because of the stuff that we're getting engagements with. It's like, oh my God, this vortex that I would have gone into, and this is another vortex. Think about the millions of vortexes that each of you that are watching this right now are receiving and how much of it it's impacting your decision making. Oh, I read that. And on our last episode, we talked about open racism that is going on these videos. Imagine your content is around that and that's normalized for you. And that's like, oh
And if
yeah,
you-
no, oh my God, that you're from that town, like, or you're that type of race. Oh, in your head, you're like, oh, I've only heard that you're like going to do something really bad and I need to stay away from you. You will start to
And
believe
if you
that.
accidentally watch it for too long or engage, that's all it's going to
Yeah.
show you. That's why, like, you can always reclaim your power on these social media apps by being very selective with
Hey,
what
I
you
actually
engage
wanted
with.
to ask you.
Yeah.
There's a thing where you could reset your whole.
That
Algorithm?
she posted that.
Is
Yeah,
that
you can.
does it actually work?
It
like, is
does.
it actually legitimate?
Yeah, because
She's done it.
I ended up on Conspiracy Talk. So,
Yeah.
like, of course, they were showing me content related to conspiracies. All I wanted to see was aesthetic cake videos, like baking and dogs. That's all I wanted to see, as well as people that I follow. And as long as I watched it for the full duration, engaged with it, left a thoughtful comment, did that for a couple weeks, reset it completely.
No, there's something you could do. We could completely reset it with just like going in your settings.
I think you can do that too. I don't remember that setting.
Like this
to be
is
honest,
something
but,
I
like,
saw.
It might be new.
I was
no,
going
it's a
through the
beta feature.
settings.
It's a beta feature. You
I
only
guess
have it.
so. But like, yeah, I
Maybe
was just
TBD.
messing around with the settings because I want to see like the other like weird hidden stuff they have. And I saw that it's like reset your whole feed.
I
And
mean,
did you do
it's
it?
kind of worth it. Though.
I didn't want to do it because I'm like, yo, like,
What are
if
you
I
gonna
just-
go into now?
I don't know what it would be. I'll be so like scared, right?
It's like when you
nervous.
start a new
Crazy.
account.
Yeah.
When you start a new account, that feed's unhinged.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I am on
'Cause the
my
thing is,
accounts. 'cause
I
I
That's
never
the
use
title
it.
of this
I do-
podcast episode, Unhinged.
Yeah, I do like when I see like stuff I don't want to watch, I always hold it down and say not interested in this content.
Yeah, that's
So I
smart.
stop
Oh,
getting that
so you do
shit.
control
Yeah.
it. I don't know how many
Yeah.
people do that. I do that a little bit.
I do
For
it on
anybody-
stuff where I'm like, dude, I don't really want to see this bullshit right now.
Yeah.
But again, when it comes to reels, stories, whatever, I don't really consume a lot of that. So I'm not really in the normal thing. Like it's the ADHD in me, but also like that. Like right now, I literally don't have time to scroll through other shit.
No, I
And
don't
people
either
were
anymore,
saying to
like-
me, people were like, "Oh, you're starting a podcast. What kind of podcast do you listen to?" And I'm like, not that many. They're like, "Oh, you're
I
not
don't
going to
listen
listen."
to
They're like, "You're not going to
podcasts."
listen to that." Like I do listen to some, but oh, you're not going to listen to some for some inspiration, whatever. And I was like, no. I'm like, I'm not trying to do what everyone else
You
does.
have to and this is just like one last note of being a creator. You have to be in your bubble just a little bit so you don't sound like anybody else, but so
Yes.
you're also not accused of copying. So I'm
Yeah.
very selective with what I consume for that reason, also because I need to be inspired. But I don't ever want to feel like somebody's like, "Oh, you took what I did." So you have to be somewhat selective. So you are what you create, whether you realize it or not. Like if you read a book and you're inspired by that, you're likely going to regurgitate that information. So, just being careful with what you consume, period, especially in the day and age where technology is all around you.
It's hard to be careful about what you consume, but I guess just question the other side of that narrative and just question the other side of whatever someone is telling you. If someone is telling you ABC,
Mhm.
just wonder what like DEF.
Don't take it
would
at
be.
face
Yeah.
value.
Like there might be
Yeah.
like
There's
know,
always something
and
else.
that's been true for all sources and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much, Cass, for taking the time to fly all the way from Baltimore just to see
just to
us.
be with you guys.
Yeah.
We know that. We know the other stuff is all just it's all CIA stuff. It's
Yeah.
all fake. We knew it. You
probably
came
took a
here
private
because you
jet.
knew-
Yep.
Private jet.
Me and my private jet. Too
Taylor
bad my
Swift,
dog
Secret
couldn't come.
Service is waiting for us outside.
Yeah.
No, Cass,
Sorry,
you're
guys.
so inspiring. I hope for those of you who listen have a new way of looking at the solar system. Solar system. Yeah. I hope you have a new way of looking at social media. And thank you so much. See you in the next one, guys.
See you guys.